Hi, I'm here to talk about screaming, yelling, vocal cord, like your vocalization, your speaking, everything to do with like that sort of thing. I am a vocalist for a band. You hear a lot about screaming now and growls. Well, the thing is that there's one thing that isn't mentioned, and it's mentioned only once, and I've only seen one video, and that's your vocal cord, like your true chords, and then your false chords. I'm like, that's very important to know about if you're gonna sing, cause you should know this. True, false. That's what you know. You should know what chord does and what. When you're like talking normally, it's your true chords. When you're growling and screaming, it's your false chords, and the same with singing. Your high pitched sing is your false. Now the thing is, you have to take care of your vocal cords. It's like everything else in your body. Like it's the same with like a muscle. Like when you're working out or when you're doing anything at all, you have to take care of your body. Correct? Some things that people do wrong. If you're a vocalist or just a normal person, if you have a sore throat or anything, do not talk. If you have to talk, do not whisper. If you whisper, that's not actually helping you. That's your vocal cords smacking together and doing more damage to your vocals, to your actual cord. You should speak normally. Now on to singing. Singing, you need to find your range. Each person has their range. This is pretty basic. If you don't know this, you shouldn't be singing. I have a deep voice, so I'm a bass. Then you have people who are higher, and so on and so forth. You need to find your level and your tone. Another thing is, it's the same with screaming and growling. You should know where your range is. That way you know where you should be. You should be screaming or growling, where you should be. Growling is what I do, so I'll explain that. When you growl or talk, you should feel a vibration right in your chest, because when you talk, you feel the vibration right here. If you don't feel a vibration, it means you're using your throat. If you're using your throat, you're going to damage it. And if you do too much damage to your throat without resting it, you're going to snap your vocal cord. When you snap your vocal cord, they have to die, and that's 5 years of healing. 5 years, I'm not even kidding. My friend Chris, who is now our guitarist in our band, his voice went from something like mine to up here, because he had to shorten his vocal cord to heal it. And now he can't do growls. He can only do really high screams, and they're not even that good anymore. Like his voice cracks. You will ruin your vocalization and your singing. Another point is about drinking. Like drinking alcohol is just generally bad for you, and same with vocal. Like when you're singing, if you abuse alcohol, it will then reflect on to your singing. But whiskey does deepen your voice. Also, drinking anything acid, like any type of like acidy sort of like, like citrus, generally not very good for your vocal cords, because it does do temporary damage to your vocal cord. If you're singing while you have that damage, it will cause permanent damage to your vocal cords. You should probably know this. Also, this is fucking advice that no one's given to anyone in the entire and any of these videos I've ever seen, and that's, if it hurts, don't do it. Find another way to get that sound. If you're going from and that hurts, then you're doing it wrong. If you go too low or too high, it's gonna hurt, and you shouldn't be doing that. If you want to go that low or high, you should practice for 5 minutes every day in intervals until you can figure out a way to get your voice to do it without it hurting you. Because when it hurts, that's your body telling you that you shouldn't be doing that. That's kind of obvious. Um, Good ways to get started. Copying other bands that you like. Don't try to exactly copy them, but try to copy them. Or even doing impressions is good for you. Like doing impressions of like cartoon characters, anime characters. Doing impressions in general helps you find how low you can go with your voice and how high you can go with your voice without actually doing any damage. I know that sounds silly, but it's true. A lot of vocalists who sing or do like growls, do impressions. Like I do a Yogi Bear impression. I do a Dr. Claw impression. I do. Like, there's a really good vocalist on YouTube. I don't remember his name, but he does an awesome Dr. Claw like impression, and his growls are insane. The fact is that you need to work. You need to put like work into this, but the main thing is, just to reiterate, no acidy foods. Like no acidy, like no citrus, no nothing, no citrus, just water or milk or a juice that isn't like doesn't contain citric acid. Second thing, if it hurts, then you shouldn't be doing it. Third thing, when you're singing and growling, you should feel it in your chest, and you should be singing from your diaphragm, and you should be very mindful of your breathing, because breathing and singing is very important. Another thing is, when you do get the growl down, practice your timing. Make sure that your timing is perfect. Being able to growl is nothing if you can't get timing down. I know most of you won't. That has nothing to do with growling, but I'm pretty sure if you're learning how to do this, you want to be in a band. Get your timing down. If you sit down with one of your friends if once you start a band or you're doing something, and just practice. That's all I have to say. Take your time, 5 minutes a day. That's an interval is for about and like do 10-minute breaks and do another 5 minutes while learning, and that way you don't damage your vocal cords. Any questions? Then send me an email. Also check out the band, the Undead Horde. We're pretty decent, and let me know what you think.